Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review, the sample which was sent in by Dr. Goo. You see, I'm a poet and didn't know it. I just love to do that. This is yet another sample sent in by Dr. Goo over at Locked Scents. And this one is, you've seen the title and the description, this one is Versace Blue Jeans. Now, I want to be clear, and I am not going to throw him under the bus. I'm going to be clear and say, you might recall that he sent me a whole bunch of like 20-some fragrances that I'm reviewing throughout, last year now and this year. So he sent me a whole bunch. Many of them he just sent because he wanted me to review. I mean, he just sent them on his own. I did ask specifically for a few of them. And but this one is on me because I actually, in my mind, I was thinking of Dylan Blue. That's the one that I was thinking of when I requested this one. I knew blue was in it, and I'm pretty sure I said blue jeans, but I meant Dylan Blue. Anyway, this one is Versace Blue Jeans. This one really is for me kind of a meh. It's kind of an MEH meh fragrance, and I will go into much more detail, of course, but really in the end, this one is 1990s in a bottle. So to me, to understand this fragrance, you need to do two things. Number one is you need to understand that this is an aromatic fougere. Fougere, of course, is French for fern-like, and so an aromatic, and it's a 1994 release. Now, for those of you who don't know, in 1988, Davidoff's Cool Water came out. And I mean, ask anybody over the age of 40, and everyone had a bottle or 8. It really had a good run. In fact, there are many men who still to this day wear it as their signature scent. Damn good fragrance, it really was. But it really was, I guess, a divisive issue in Fragcom because it started off the 90s, even though it was an 88 release, but when we entered the 90s, we got into, you guessed it, the freshies. Some people absolutely love the freshies, and some people detest them, especially the 1990s ones, because you need to know if you ever get this, they do smell like detergent, they do smell like a dryer sheet, and they smell like something like a shower gel. So if you're looking for, something that's ultra sweet or ultra masculine or highly, highly original, it's probably not going to happen for a lot of the fragrances in the 90s. They sold well, and a lot of frag heads just absolutely, find that abhorrent because they don't understand why anyone would like something like a Tommy Hilfiger and on down the line. This one is another one of those fragrances. So if you're thinking about getting this one, make sure you're wanting to walk down memory lane from the 90s and you're probably 40 or over, or you want to experience something from the 90s, something different. And then finally, if you like aromatic fougères, what's important here is that you understand the purpose and the function and the category of this fragrance. Otherwise, if you just blind by this, especially if you're under 40, you won't like this. The 90s do have kind of like, remember like Boucheron, Pahom, we were talking about that recently too. They're just these kind of carnation rose. A lot of them are fougères, and they are a real home run for some people, and then others, they're just not. For me personally, they're kind of one and dones. I don't mind them. I don't mind the Tommy Hilfigers and things like that. This kind of fragrance for me, I mean, I wore it this week. The problem is that once this first wave of freshies came out, everyone rode, of course, the coattails, and so like everyone and their dog at this point has a freshie or some sort of blue fragrance, some sort of aromatic fougere, to the point that unless you want to pay homage to one of the originals, the OGs, as they say, there's probably no real need to get this. especially at this stage of the game. You know, every once in a while I think about getting Drakkar Noir just because it would be fun to reminisce, you know, because I loved that one and I had tons of bottles of it and it would bring back a lot of good memories. That might be something for you. But if not, this one really is one of those fragrances that if you've had it once or if you've had something similar to it, then, you know, you're probably going to move on from it. I don't see this one as a signature scent for too many people. Maybe back in the day. But now actively, like, you know, when you hear people say, like, you know, my husband will only wear this and has worn this one fragrance for 30 blah, blah, blah years. I don't know that this one will be that. But I could be wrong, and you could give me a slap on the wrist, and you could tell me that it is your signature scent. It's a like. It's just not a love. The one thing I do like, though, is this is a complex fragrance. In fact, this is probably in my top 10 out of all the fragrances I've ever reviewed in terms of number of notes. Probably 7, 8, 9, 10, but it's up there. It has a lot of notes. And some of you over the years have asked me, like, how can you tease apart the notes? Well, and I would always say, you know, first of all, after over 300 episodes, I should have developed a decent nose by now. But this is an example of a fragrance that I most definitely would not have. I wouldn't be able to tell you probably 1/3 of the notes of this fragrance. So check them out on Fragrantica. Now, this one to me is a musk, a lavender powder, and then it has in my region we call it pop. You can call it soda, Coke, soda pop, whatever you would like to call it, a soft drink. But it does have a slight pop smell, but not like root beer. It's got anise in it, so you would think root beer, but it's like a Pepsi Coke, just like a fizzy pop smell. But I mean, just a little bit. Really, really, what dominates here is it's a musky lavender that's powdery, especially on the dry down, and that's why it's going to turn off a lot of people. A lot of bros in their 20s and 30s won't even. I wouldn't waste my time with something like this. It's not to put it down. It's just to say I don't think it would really meet your goals. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, it's an aromatic fougere. Okay, so those are notes. And by the way, this is the first fragrance that I have reviewed by Jean-Pierre Betouard. I love French last names. Bethouart, Betouard. Jean, I don't think it's not Jean. I think it's Jean-Pierre. It is a woman, and this is the first fragrance that I am reviewing by this parfumé. So this one is Blue Jeans by Versace, and let's get into the categories. Now, I also didn't really have good luck when it comes to longevity. I definitely didn't get to the 8-hour finish line, and this is a 4 to 6 hour for me, actually closer to 4. And if you are coming in and out of the outdoors like I am, man, you might even be looking at 3. The longevity wasn't very impressive. You can get this for super inexpensive, super cheap now, so there's something to be said about that. And I know a lot of people just don't mind reapplying at all. For me, though, the benchmark really is you should give me 8 hours where I can at least smell it on myself. You know, if I go like this or other people, come on. I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. But this one does, it's not impressive in longevity. And projection also, you're looking at about 3 hours, about the same. And then it's going to really, really, really settle down and get close to the skin. Sillage walking past people, I think you would do all right for, I'll just use the same number and say for the first 2 to 3 hours, you would be, you would, if you walk past people, you might get noticed. They might be able to pick it up. Leaving a scent trail would work for, I would say, 2.5 to 3. I would over spray on this one, and I would definitely put it on your clothes too if you wanted it to last. As far as seasons, that's a good one. I mean, it's fern-like, so we should really focus in on spring, right? I would say this is a spring fall. And I don't really, for the heart of winter, I think this is going to be a lavender musk. I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe winter would be the third one. And then, of course, I think a real hot climate in the summer, I don't think this one would do particularly well at all, especially for like barbecues and things like that. If you're outside, or a wedding reception, if you're outside, this fragrance is just not going to it's not going to make it. So there you have it. Not the best of news, but hey, keeping it real like I always do. I gave. Oh well, let me do the gender and age. Age. This one is 80 up. No, I'm kidding. For age, I'm going to go 40 plus, unless you really wanted to try something quintessentially 90s. You know, like the dryer sheets, the laundry detergent, the shower gels. You know, I've told you before that one thing I love about this channel is that I have subscribers from all over who have one bottle, you know, of fragrance, and I have people who have 300-400 bottles, and it's, you know, niche and designer. It's all over the map, and that's how I like it. So, you know, if you wanted to try something and go 90s, you absolutely could, and you know, and reminisce. And again, some people do like the clean, the more, you know, shower gel, laundry detergent, you know, Tommy Hilfiger kind of stuff. There's a place obviously for it. They wouldn't keep making them if people didn't buy them. That's what I mean, is they tend to sell well. But usually when you see hate in Fragcom, it's usually something like this, right? They will often call them scrubbers, because a lot of frag heads just don't like ones that are an extension of deodorant or shower gel or something like that. They just don't like those. They, you know, for whatever reason. But hey, if you do, you will like this one. So I'm going to go 40 and up on age, and then for gender, you know, actually, I mean, I don't see this as overtly masculine. It's got rose or carnation in it too. I will say, why don't we do our 2/3 split? I'm going to say this would be 66% of the people who own it. It's their signature scent. They wanted it. And I always say that because I mean to exclude people who are just like given this as a bottle, as a gift. 66% will be men and 34% will be women. A woman could pull this off. I mean, no doubt. It smells really, really nice, but you need to know what you're getting into. It is dated. I would use that word, and I do feel like it's kind of had its time, honestly. So that's enough of the grumpiness, though. So as you know, in my 5 spray rating system, I typically will do 4 or 5. I want my collection, 1 and 2, get it off me, and then 3. Some 3s I like, some 3s I have actually in my collection. Some 3s I don't. This one is definitely a 3. You need to put it in its proper place in Fragcom lore. It belongs up there. I mean, we must pay homage to the freshies, whether you like it or not. From 88 to, 95, 6, 7. I mean, 94 was Issey Miyake. I mean, there was just this huge explosion of these kinds of fragrances. And it's kind of nice, right? I mean, something different. So I want to pay homage to that and then leave it there. This one, for me personally, is not one that I would want in my collection. And I was thinking on the way over here, I was out running errands, and I was thinking to myself, like, even if somebody gave me this, I would probably trade it away for something else. It's not that it's bad. It's not. It smells nice. It's just that, you know, it's a meh. I mean, it just doesn't really have enough oomph in it for me to get me over, you know, into wanting to have it. So there you have it. I'm going to go 3 out of 5. Nothing bad. It's not a 1 or 2. But I also wouldn't really, you know, recommend this or get this as a gift for anybody. I really need to promote these a lot more. I just need to be shiny and happy at all times. But hey, you know, it's a review, right? 3 out of 5. These will be faux sprays because I am dry as a bone. And thanks again for Dr. Goo. I will tag him. He is alive and well, but I'm not sure if he has new content. Either way, I really appreciate that he, like so many of you, have sent in bundles and bundles of samples over the years. And I'm genuinely touched by that, actually. So let's go, 3 sprays. I'll go 1 on each side of the neck and then 1 on the emblem. Again, it is faux sprays. Boom. Boom. And boom. All right, there you have it. You know, I meant Dylan Blue, but I ended up reviewing Versace blue jeans. I knew blue was in there somewhere, but either way, this was a lot of fun. 1994 release. Certainly fun for me to take a walk down memory lane. And I was in the 90s, well, especially the late 90s, but from like 98 on, I was on the Isimiaki Porom trail. In fact, actually, my scent of the day technically is that, because I just got back from the gym and I have on the body lotion, which I highly recommend. So my scent of the day is Isimiaki Porom. I did not mean that, though, as a 90s theme. So it just worked out. Let me know your thoughts on this one. If you agree, disagree, let me know your scent of the day and your scents of the week. And always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. So Versace, I'll also throw in too, I'm not a huge, like, I don't really care for Eros that much. I don't really care that much for the Dreamer. I know that's another one that people absolutely love. I haven't had too many Versaces that have really, really, really knocked my socks off. Not downright bad. I mean, I don't dislike the Dreamer. I just don't like it as much as you guys do. But so far for the house, yeah, I don't have too many absolute favorites from Versace. But hey, that might just because I haven't tried a lot of them yet. So hey, something to consider.